Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Kwamboka Judith and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you and thank you so much. Today I'm from the market and I went to buy my groceries. I have my tomatoes here. I have my ndania here. Then I have my butternut. My baby loves butternut so much. I have my fruits. I have my apples here, oranges, and I also have my carrots. I have my sweet potato. I have ginger, garlic, and this the turmeric. It looks like the ginger, but the difference you can see. We have the lemon. We have the green pepper. We have the onions, and we have watermelon, a piece of watermelon. So I'm going to share with you how to store these vegetables in your fridge. So if you want your tomatoes, how to store your tomatoes in your fridge, after washing them thoroughly, which we are going to do, we are going to wash them. You wrap this part, you can see the uncut part, this part. You wrap it tightly. You can use a cling film. Wrap it tightly. Then when you're storing it, you store facing downwards. This part facing downwards, that way. And that way it will last for a long period of time. The other way of preserving your tomatoes is whereby you make them in a paste. Then store them in a very close container, airtight container. Then they will last for a longer period of time. The other way is buying some, you buy the green ones and the others the red ones, depending on how you use your tomatoes. Then the second thing, this one, the butternut, you just store it on a shelf because it can last for around 1 week on a shelf when it's fresh. Then we have our apples. To keep them fresh, after washing them, make sure that you put them in an airtight container or a Ziploc freezer bag. Then same with our oranges. When you have many of them, you don't put them on a shelf because they will start drying up and shrinking and they will lose their taste. So it's better that you put them in a fridge when you have much of them. Then we have our green pepper. When storing the green pepper in your fridge, you make sure that you wash them thoroughly, dry them up, then you put them in an airtight container or a Ziploc freezer bag. You store them in a fridge. Then we have our carrots. Our carrots, when you're storing them, when you're storing them after peeling, make sure that they stay at most 1 week in a fridge, but in an airtight container with an kitchen pepper. You wrap them, then in an airtight container, then they can be stored for that period of time. But when you don't peel them, the second way of storing the carrots is whereby you, after washing them thoroughly, dry them up, put them in an airtight container or a Ziploc freezer bag. Then you can store them in a fridge. The third way is blanching them, then freeze them. Put them in a freezer. Then we have our ndania. How to store this ndania? We have two ways of storing the ndania. One is taking a container full of water. Then you dip this part, the root part, in a container. You submerge it until this part. Then you put it on your counter. It will keep green for some time. The second way is whereby you wash them thoroughly, wrap it around a cling film. Then not a cling film but a foil. Then store it in your fridge. Another thing we have. If you have a lot of turmeric and ginger, when you want to store them, wash them thoroughly, put them in a closed container, then store them. The second method of storing this, the ginger and the turmeric, is by grating them, make them as a paste, then store them in an airtight container in a fridge. That is the second method of storing them. The onions and the cloves, I'll store them in my counter. They don't have a problem. But if you have a lot of them, you can grate like this one, like you can grate them and make them a paste. Store it in an airtight container, then in a fridge. Then I have my melon. When you're storing melon, when it is in a hole which is uncut, you don't need to store it in a fridge. You just store it in an open area in a room temperature. But after cutting your melon, make sure that you wrap it around a cling film, like the way I've wrapped mine. Then store it in a fridge, and it will last for about 2 to 4 days. So, what have I not showed you? So, let's wash our groceries, then store them. So, I'm going to start with my tomatoes. And please share in your comment section, how do you wash your tomatoes? Remember, these tomatoes come in very dirty. Very dirty. So how do you wash them? As for mine, I use soap, the Morning Fresh, and this Super Bright. Then wash them in a running water, the way I do wash my vegetables and fruits. I like washing my vegetables and fruits in a running water. It's very important. So you rinse it thoroughly. That way. So let me wash them, then we continue. While washing again, you can use vinegar. For those who don't like washing with the soap, you can use vinegar to wash your fruits or to clean your tomatoes and fruits. Guys, I remember one day our lecturer came to class and asked us this question: how do you guys clean your tomatoes? And we were like, you just take your tomatoes, wash them, cut them, and you cook. What's the big deal? So there's this one student, I remember her very well. She raised her hand and said, I wash my tomatoes with soap and a cloth, a washing cloth. And we all turned back and looked at her like, what? You wash your tomatoes with soap? How? You eat soap? And so the teacher told us, good, I also do that way. It was our lecturer. I also wash my tomatoes with soap and a washing cloth, then rinse them thoroughly. Then we're like, what? Why do you do that? Then she was like, if you knew where tomatoes come from, all the fruits that you eat come from, you will wash them thoroughly before eating. And that's what I got from that lesson. You need to see where the tomatoes come from and the fruits. You'll be able to see the need of washing them thoroughly before storing them. Remember, for those who have kids, you can find that your kid can come to your kitchen, start biting tomatoes, those who love tomatoes, and carrots. You can imagine, because some of you say that the germs will die while cooking. What of the baby that eats the tomato when it's raw, or when you're making kachumbari? Think about it, guys, and you'll see the need of washing your fruits and tomatoes thoroughly. And it makes it easier during cooking. You just take it from the fridge and cut. Or you can even rinse them and cut. So it's easier that way. Washing these ones, the dania, you start from the roots. First you remove things that are not good. You can see this one is a grass. You sort it out. Then wash the roots first because they always carry a lot of mud. That way. Then now you can wash all of it. You can wash it as much as you want, depending on how dirty it is. Mine was not that dirty, so I've washed it twice. You can even see how the water is clear and clean. Yeah. So we're going to leave them to dry a bit. Then we pack them and store them in a fridge. So this is how I store my dania. I take my foil, put it that way. Wrap it tightly. That way, then tuck in the ends. You see the end, how I tuck them in that way. So you compress for any air inside. So our dania is well packed. So we are going to pack our tomatoes. I do dry them with a kitchen towel. I take my kitchen towel that way, put wrap them that way, then dry them. This is the easiest. So I'm going to do this procedure for all of them. Yeah, that way. They're well dried. I'll put them aside. Then continue the process with the remaining ones. You take cling foil, you put it that way. You cover the bottom. Take another one. Make sure that you cover it well. Then now you can take your tomatoes, arrange them this way. I told you that this part faces down. Yeah, that way. Then I continue with the same process. Continue arranging on top. That way. So the remaining ones, they're not much. I'll use them today and tomorrow. So for these, they're well kept. They're well stored now. You can take the last cling film . And loosely, you cover loosely on top. that way. So they are ready to be stored in the fridge. So our tomatoes are ready. So we are going to pack the carrots. For the carrots, I'm going to use my Ziploc bags. And guys, if you want to store them for more than 1 month, I recommend that you freeze them because they'll start growing. So this is the way I'm going to pack them. You can use even a paper cloth, a paper towel, sorry, or a serviette, whereby you take your serviette, this way, then you can add like 3 of them, you wrap them that way. You see? You remove all the air from inside. Then now you can close. So it's ready to be put in a fridge. So I'm going to repeat the same process to the other carrots. So as you can see, our carrots are ready to be stored in the fridge. This is the second one and the third one. So we are going to pack also these ones. For the lemon, I'm not going to pack them because I'll use them within some days. The only thing I'm going to pack here are my green pepper, the hohos, the ginger, and the turmeric. And also, lastly, my apples. I'm going to also pack my apples and some oranges. So let's dry them up, then pack them. So everything is well packed. I've packed everything separately, and you can ask why I pack everything separately. This to avoid contamination, or some things are not supposed to be put together with the other things. So to avoid that contamination, I put them separately. I store them separately and in a Ziploc freezer bag. Or if you have a tight container, you can do that. So I'm going to put all this in the fridge. So let me put them, arrange them, then I'll show you how I've arranged them. So guys, these are my tomatoes. This is where I've packed them. You can see we have the green pepper, the turmeric and the ginger. Then we have our melon there. Then at the door area, this is our carrots, our eggs. Then lastly, we have also, this is the ndania. So you can see even I have a lot of space for other things, to store other things. So yeah, this is how you wash, you pack your vegetables. Also, we have these dry ones that I'm going to put them in one of my racks, and these fruits, because they will be used on a daily basis. In 2 to 3 days they will be all consumed, and these tomatoes, and also the sweet potato and the butternut. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, and let me see you in my next video. Until next time, bye.